Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much more. In this episode, in this tonight's stream, we're going to be looking at, obviously, Isak, Newcastle, Manchester United, Cesko, Liverpool. It is a saga that is keeping on continuing. Where will the saga end? What will it end like? We do not know at this moment in time. However, regarding Cesko, regarding Newcastle and Manchester United, both have made a bit of counter reports today. We're going to be looking also at a little bit on Nunez as well. Mark Gahey, is that still on to Liverpool? Let's get into that and talk about potential. It could be actually still on with Gahey if Palace put their price tag down. And a little bit on as well of last night's game, because there were last night's game. There were two games last night. I covered the first game, the 4-1 in last night's stream, but I'm going to talk about it all. The 4-1, the 3-2. Anyone that got the predictions in last night? Did anyone say 3-2, by the way, last night? Because I know I said 3-1. I said Gakpo, Salah, and Szoboszlai goal scorers. So I'll kneel there. But yeah, let me know if you said 3-2. Let me know in the chat tonight. Also, if you are just joining us right now, make sure you do hit that like button. 2 seconds. 2 seconds it takes to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. We're on the road to 1.5 subscribers, so make sure you do subscribe to us, and we'll give you the latest Liverpool news every single day and Liverpool content every single day throughout the season. So make sure you do get those likes in, as Jen said there. Smash those likes. It helps out massively. Good evening, Beefy. Good evening, Daniel. And good evening, Jen. Welcome into Talking Reds. Hope you are doing well, you three, and I hope everyone else is doing well. Get your comments in about, obviously, with Newcastle, with Cesko, Manchester United. That is a certain saga that's going to be going on for at least a few days now. Those bids, let's get into it. So those bids between Manchester United and Newcastle have been accepted, according to David Ornstein, for Benjamin Sesko. So it was pretty much Newcastle made the first move on Cesko again. Manchester United apparently have had their bids accepted. Man United followed and actually met Newcastle's original bid as well, so which I didn't see coming. We said it this morning, we said it last night. We thought maybe just maybe Newcastle might outbid Manchester United here. Man United probably have a bigger pull. It's a bigger team. It's a bigger club. Just like we were when we didn't have Champions League football. We still attracted players over other teams. And yeah, I'm not really particularly happy about Newcastle right now, because they're single-handedly not only ruining their own transfer window, they're messing up our plans as well with Isak. We are, I think for me right now, heavily reliant on Cesko going to Newcastle. And that was a report this morning as well with Craig Hope. He also said that if Cesko does go to Newcastle, that allows Isak to leave. Cesko is the Isak replacement. That's what Craig Hope said. So, and we don't want to rely fully on Cesko going to Newcastle here. As long as they get another forward, or two forwards at least, with Vissa coming in and maybe another forward, for me, I think that should be okay for Isak to go. But if it's just Cesko and he doesn't go to Newcastle, it's just a farce, isn't it? It's just a fucking farce. What is going on at Newcastle, by the way? What is going on? How rubbish they are at pulling players in? Like, it can piss Newcastle fans off all at once, but it's pissing me off now because it's affecting our transfer window. Us waiting for Isak to come in is heavily reliant on Newcastle making sure they've got their players in, which I get it. I absolutely get it. They've got to replace him. They've got to make sure they replace him. But at the end of the day, are they going to keep Isak if they don't get Cesko? And that's what I am slightly worried about. They better not do. They better not do it. I don't see why they would, for me. And I've said it. I mean, and I've spoken to my United fans about this. I've spoken to other rival fans about this. And like, why would they keep a player that doesn't want to be there? And we had the same situation, guys. We had the same situation with Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz didn't want to be at Liverpool. All of us in the chat, all of us here in the chat, all of us at Talking Reds, all agreed, like, why would we want to keep a player that doesn't want to be here? But for some reason, Newcastle feel like they need to. And Newcastle fans feel like they have to keep a player that doesn't want to be there. There's, I say it all the time. Same thing with Liverpool. No player is bigger than the club. And if you want to go, The door's there. As long as we get the money for you, as long as we get the right price for you, absolutely fine. And I said the same thing about the Diaz situation. If they pay out the money, which in the end, Bayern Munich did pay up a decent amount to a price that I thought would be enough, and it was out the door. As simple as that. And I think the exact same thing about Isak. I'm surprised Newcastle fans are not feeling the same way. Evening, Sean. How are you doing? I've not seen you for a while, my friend. I would like Isak to put in transfer request now and put another bid in. See, what I think about this, actually, Sean, is he possibly could now. If Cesko, which is looking likely now to join Manchester, let's be honest here. I'm going to be honest, as a Liverpool fan, can't stand Man United, but they are favourites right now to get a Cesko. Whether they put the same bid in or not as Newcastle, for me, it looks like he's going to choose Manchester United. I don't have a clue. Really, I don't know Cesko, but from what we've seen in reports, it probably looks like Cesko is going to Manchester United, if anything. If they have the matching bids, and that is what has been reported. They have matching bids. So David Onsey said, Man United make an offer for Leipzig, 75 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. No reply for yet from Leipzig, and are working close on the deal as well with Newcastle. Then let's get through this one here. Matt Douglas obviously is an independent correspondent as well. Benjamin Sesko, both bids accepted for Cesko for Leipzig. Confidence at Manchester United, and that's what I'm saying. It seems like Cesko wants Manchester United, and as someone said there, Cesko could be a fanboy of Manchester. It could be. At the end of the day, we know as a big club, we've been there before, guys. Every Liverpool fan absolutely knows this. We've been in and out of Europe at times. We've been out of Europe, but we've still attracted big players, and we've always been saying, look, we're Liverpool. We can attract these players. If you put the money up, we can attract these players. Good evening, Kevin. How are you doing? I wonder if Adam's in time because he was at the game last night, wasn't he? So going to get through some of the comments. Good evening, Jen Ren. How are you, mate? And good evening, Liverpool Republic podcast. How are you doing this evening? Isak will be a Liverpool player this window, said Daniel. You know what? This morning, I actually said I was like 80% sure, didn't I? About Isak joining, but this Cesko thing's it's just bugging me. It's bugging me. Newcastle are bugging me. Just get your fucking players in. I don't care if it's Cesko. I don't care if it's Visser. I don't care if it's Watkins. I don't care if it's Nicholas Jackson. Replace him and sell him on. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, if you don't get Cesko, what are you doing? You're going to keep an unhappy player at your club, or are you going to go replace him? Because at some point, you're going to replace him anyway. At some point, you're going to replace him, whether it's this season or next season. And will it be the same Isak? Will he be the kind of player to not throw the toys out of the pram, but put down tools a little bit this season? It could be. We've seen. I've already seen him pushing for a move himself. So Steve said, "I don't want Isak." Why is that though, Steve? Is that because you want a defender as well? But I think we should get both, if I'm honest. United would ruin Cesko's development. Newcastle will also be in for Gahey as well. Newcastle can't even pay for James Trafford, Jen Rev. I can't imagine him ever being a threat for Gahey against us. For me, no. Ben Jacobs stated Newcastle and Chelsea are in talks with Jackson. There you go. If he has said that, I've not seen that though, Fireburn. If they've not seen that, there you go, Newcastle. Cesko. If Cesko doesn't join you, move on to someone else. Simple as that. Don't keep a player that doesn't want you. Evening, Damon and chat. Cesko scored 13 goals last season. Newcastle got a funny feeling Newcastle could end up buying Darwin. Then we will get Isak. I truly believe that Newcastle own it, but for Isak for us. I've read something about Darwin actually earlier. Someone mentioned it in the chat, in our group chat, saying about Darwin potentially going to Newcastle. I can't see it personally. Well, we're going to talk about Darwin in a short while because he's still in personal talks now with Al Hilal. So he's like the destination right now is probably Al Hilal, if I'm honest. But regarding Cesko, saying 13 goals last season, Cesko's a very good player, by the way, for LFC. Very good player. Yeah, it's not just about goals. He's got bags of potential, Cesko. He also needs to improve his goal scoring record, but I think for me, he's got bags of potential. I've liked him for quite a while, Cesko. I don't think I want him at Liverpool at that age, unless it were like an XTK where he comes in with someone else. But I think he's a very good player, and he has a variety of shots that he can. He didn't just score, one-on-one stuff. He's got good long range shot on him as well. Darwin and move money for Isak. said Liverpool Republic. I mean, that it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. It makes logical sense. But I don't think Newcastle want Nunez. I've not seen anything about Newcastle wanting Nunez. Otherwise, I think would have offered that ages ago. Can we just agree on something? Cesko can't make up his mind and make a decision, Jesus. But at the end of the day, it's a big move, though, Daniel. Got to admit, it's a big move, isn't it? Let's be real here. Cesko, 21 years old, played in the Bundesliga, moving to the Premier League. Got to remember, he's got to move his whole life. This is why transfers sometimes do take a while. People have got to work out what they want to do. They've got to move the whole life. So do they want to go to Manchester? Do they want to go to Newcastle? They've got to take everything into account. Lives are lives. These players are human beings. They've got big decisions to make. There's ups and there's downs for both. There's positives and negatives for both choices. Join Manchester United, then they're in the shit right now. You know what I'm saying? They're just on the peripheral of like coming back up again. They want to start again, sort of thing, starting a new slate. But joining Man United also is joining the biggest club alongside Liverpool in England. It's also potentially joining a project that's at the start of it and you could be part of the reason why Man United got to the top again. That's a big for me, that's a big goal for someone. That could be a big goal for someone. But then again, you look at Newcastle, negatives right now, they're not as big as Manchester United. They've had a shit transfer window. They're losing potentially Isak. They've not really bought much in. They're not looking like they're going to go further on. They are in Champions League, which is a positive. They play good football under Eddie Howe. They've got some brilliant players under Eddie Howe. But he's got to look at both. And there will be positives and negatives on both sides. It's up to Cesko now to decide which one he wants. If you're asking me, I'd always choose Newcastle because at the end of the day, I can't fucking stand Man United. I'd rather play for Bromley than Man United on less money. But that's me. But a player coming outside from the Bundesliga, Man United are a big club. And we were in the same situation many times. Ian Weber, how are you doing tonight? I've not seen you for a couple of nights either. How are you doing? And Newcastle also looking at Ramos, from PSG. It wouldn't surprise me. It won't surprise me with that. Jen saying Darwin off to Saudi. It seems that, Jen, it does seem that Al Hilal are possibly the favourites right now for Darwin Nunez. And it's probably like the likely destination for him at the end of it. I'm tired of keeping up with Newcastle's transfer window. It's frustrating me. I just want Isak, Freed, be it Ramos, Jackson, Watkins. I don't care. Just get someone. Remember, I literally, this sentence you just said right there basically sums up everything in my mind. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm actually bored of it now. If we don't get Isak after all this bullshit, after all this waiting, we don't get Isak after all this, and we don't get another striker, I'm going to be fuming because we're short in that area. And again, TK is a good signing, but just to throw him straight in like that, and it can really, I don't know. I'm not happy about it, but if we haven't got anyone else as not a backup, do we go back for Isak next year? I don't know. I really don't. And we definitely need a centre back as well. This is what's frustrating me, because the longer this Isak thing's taking, the longer we're not even sorting the centre back situation, unless it's all being played in the background. No one's even heard anything about it yet. But it's just fucking frustrating. Just sort it out, Newcastle. Sort it out, man. What are you actually doing? I feel like a Newcastle. I'm not frustrated at Newcastle right now. I feel like a fucking Newcastle fan. Honestly, how can you not? And I've seen Newcastle fans crying like, "Oh well, this is the difference between us and Big Six. The Big Six can spend all they want, but if you actually got your transfer targets, you'd have spent as much as we have. Let's be honest here. You're not even getting transfer targets. You can't complain about the Big Six, right? When you can't tempt a player from Manchester United right now. If you can't tempt a player when you're going head to head with Manchester United right now, then don't ever cry about not being in the Big Six or whatever. You can't do it. That's pathetic. How can you not beat Manchester United to a player the way they are right now? So, like someone said it in the chat earlier, they haven't got a sporting director. I don't know what's going on with that at Newcastle. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. It's an absolute mess. And their T-Dot said Newcastle needs to sort it out, their internal mess, before they start talking about projects. players can see right through the BS. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is why Man United can actually be a more attractive club than them, because they've got shit going on in the background. They can't sort fuck all out. Even United look like a better run club right now than Newcastle. that's mad to say, but at least they're getting signings over the line, and they've actually got football people in charge now of the signings. It's honestly what they've done this summer has been pathetic for Newcastle, and so Cesko sees that. These players see that. Mbeumo has already rejected Newcastle for fucking Man United. These players see it, so I mean, everyone in the chat right here is fed up in Newcastle. Imagine being a Newcastle fan, and I don't fucking feel sorry for him there. Not the amount of abuse I've fucking received. Not a chance. Not a chance. One second. Someone has put me in here. But I'll tell you about that in a second. Someone's just put something in the chat, that's all, about Tyler Morton and Trey Ione. I'll get that up in a second. But yeah, let's continue with this. Guys, I'm up and down. I feel like I'm on some sort of them ones, them trampolines where you got to strap in, you get to go up and down on them. That's what I feel like I'm in with this transfer saga. One day I'm up high, like 60-70% of thinking that that's going to join Liverpool, and then right down back to fucking below 50. Like, I want to be positive here. I want to be like, yes, I still think we're going to get Isak, but I'm looking at a realistic point of view right now. If the only way we get Isak is if Cesko joins Newcastle United, then we ain't getting Isak. Because I think Cesko's going to Man United now. It's as simple as that. But this is what's frustrating me. Is it Cesko or bust for Newcastle? It shouldn't be. If you don't get Cesko, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because Cesko's not going to come to you next year because he's at Man United now. You need to go out and get another striker. Visser and Watkins, Visser and Jackson, Visser and Hoyland. I don't give a shit, Newcastle, who you get. Get someone in and let someone go that doesn't want to be there. It's as simple as that. It's bugging me. And that, like I said, I don't know how Newcastle fans feel. They must be fucking livid with their club right now. Livid. Because when you think winning a cup after that long waiting for one, 70 years waiting for a cup, and they get a cup and you think, oh, let's build on this. Let's go again. Let's build on this. And they've done nothing. They've done nothing. In fact, you know what? They did the exact same for what we did when we won the league. We stood still. In fact, to be honest, we had a probably worse transfer window than Newcastle. At least they actually bought Elanga. We probably we got Elliott. That was our best signing. Except Van der Berg and Adrian. Newcastle are having a old FSG transfer window right now. Stand still FC. There. In fact, yeah, there you go. There's your title. I spoke about it last night. Liverpool are no longer monitoring FC. Newcastle's taken that title. Newcastle have taken monitoring FC offers. Thank you so much for that. Now give us Isak in return. If we can't get Isak, we can sign Cesko or keep Nunez. Imagine us going for Cesko now, Stuart. Imagine us going for Cesko now. That would be a turn up for the Bucks. That'd be hilarious. That would be absolutely hilarious. I give them my nan if you like, said Fireburn. Why would you do that to your nan? It feels like Newcastle are doing this on purpose, said James. It wouldn't surprise me, if honest. Surely they can get Jackson over the line, my God. But Jackson's surplus to requirements now, isn't it, Chelsea? I mean, how many players are bringing in? I think they've got the 70th signing coming up in Simmons. And then looking at the Garnacho as well, aren't they, Chelsea? But they've got João Pedro and they've got Liam Delap as their strike options. And they've still got Nkunku there as well, who can play up front as well. Jackson's got no chance. So he might as well go to Newcastle. Damon, if Cesko reject Newcastle, do you think Isak deal will be difficult and still confident that Isak will be a red? I'll be honest, Bad Joe, and I won't ever lie to you on this channel. I will not ever lie to you. If Cesko rejects Newcastle and goes to Manchester United, the likelihood, from the reports, obviously, it's Cesko being the Isak replacement, and my faith right now in Newcastle doing other business, then my percentage has gone down massively. I'm leaning towards Isak staying in terms of my thoughts of what's going to happen. And that's not good. It's not good at all. But at the end of the day, like I say, it's like I'm like a yo-yo in this, like a yo-yo. I don't know what to believe anymore. This morning, I was so happy. I'm thinking Isak's going to come to Liverpool, you know. He's actually going to come to Liverpool. And then tonight, it's just in the space of 24 hours. My opinion is changing every 24 hours on this because the reports are changing. Newcastle need to start out, basically. Facts, that's another thing. They need to stop looking at the same freaking targets as big city clubs. They will lose every time. Common sense. I think, you know what? If they had a proper sporting director in place, actually, Rebbe, if they had a sporting director in place, I could teach them about the project, and they actually had a decent summer as well, and they're looking like they're pushing on in the project, then I think they could beat Man United to a target. It's just everything with it. Like, it's a shit show in the background. They've been rejected many, many times. They're looking like they're not pushing on now. If they just accepted the Isak money, they could actually push on. But then again, are they willing to take that risk of accepting Isak money and then no one coming in for them? That would be a massive risk. This is frustrating Newcastle fans more than us, I think. Think of it like that. That's what I'm saying, be fair. I mean, I'm frustrated at it. Imagine being a Newcastle fan. I've got to admit, though. I've got to admit, that's why I'm laughing. I've got to admit, the abuse I've received from Newcastle fans simply talking about Isak. They deserve it. Absolutely deserve it. A lot of swearing today, mate. Pissed at Newcastle or Cesko. Yeah. I'm not swearing that much. I do apologise if I am, but yeah. Fuck them. Yeah. I'm just annoyed at... I can't be annoyed at Cesko, though. He's looking at... Like I said, he's looking at Newcastle and it's a shit show. So I can't really be annoyed. I'm just annoyed at Newcastle not sorting themselves out and keeping a player that don't want to be there, clearly. I don't think we get Isak. We wouldn't be this deep into it. I'd just leave it. I think we'll get to a point where they sell regardless. I think the problem is, I think we are in it deep now with Isak, but we can't do anything until Newcastle give a green light. Until they accept a bid, we can't do anything. And they're not going to accept a bid without a replacement. And that's where we're stuck. We're literally at the traffic lights. The traffic light's stuck on red, and there's some roadworks going on. And that roadworks have been going on for a few weeks now. They said it was just a bust pipe. They fixed the pipe. Now they're fucking tarmacking the whole road. Hurry the fuck up. Don't blame Newcastle. Man U put in a lower bid and the favourites, said Kenneth. I'm sure they put a bid that was similar. Was it the same as Newcastle? But like I said, Newcastle, if you're losing to Man United at this point, you need to reevaluate your whole club. Reevaluate your whole club. Ben Davies and Kabak, yeah, do not remind me, Bruno. Do not remind me. I will actually ban Ben Davies and Kabak ever being mentioned from this chat ever again. Don't remind me of that time. Do not remind me. Remember, Jurgen Klopp was backed, remember. Remember, it's all Jurgen Klopp's fault. Remember that. Don't worry, it'll be another 30 this next season for Chelsea. United want rid of Oil and Newcastle would go for him. I mean, that's what I'm saying, Newcastle. There's plenty of strikers out there. We don't want Nunez. Newcastle, Chelsea probably don't want Jackson. Man United don't want Højlund. You've got to pick. You've got to pick of the best three in the league there, Newcastle. What are you crying for? What are you complaining at? Go get one of them. Go get all three of them if you have to. Just fucking give us Isak. They aren't doing it on purpose. They bid for players, jog fit, and they are at a disadvantage. And Newcastle's actually a nice place to go, you know. I don't know why Newcastle gets so much discredit, you know. I go to Manchester a few times, and I've been to Newcastle many times. And Newcastle's better than Manchester, from my point of view. I don't know why they get so. It's cold up there, but I'm from the north anyway, so I get cold. I'm used to the cold. I don't know how cold it is in Germany or in Leipzig anyway. Hit those likes, subscribe, and turn on notification bells on. Don't miss out on the future updates, says Beefy. Absolutely. If you are just joining us, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Because you get every bit of Liverpool content you want and a nice little chat with people in the chat, myself, and we try to keep it light-hearted in here. And we'll do it professionally. We'll give you the best we can in terms of content and the news, everything, all the updates on news. But we like to have a laugh as well. We do like to have a laugh. And some delighted fans here. I still think Isak moves to us, but blinkers some fans have is unreal, embarrassing. I won't say it's embarrassing just for us. I won't say it's embarrassing if people think Isak's not going to join us. At the end of the day, we can only base our opinion on what we see every day, on the reports that have been reported. And if the reports are true in the last 24 hours, like Cesko is going to be the Isak replacement, and the only way they're selling Isak is if Cesko comes in and Cesko doesn't join Man United, then people are going to believe that Isak's not going to come in. Like I said, I'm up and down on it. I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm getting tired of it because it's different noise of day. Normally, you see a transfer story and it increases, and it happens. But this one's it's like in and out. You don't know what to. But it's different stories every day on this, and I feel like we're waiting too much. We're putting too much reliance on Newcastle getting there. I think that's what it is. I think that's where my doubt comes in. Is because we get Isak if Newcastle get replacements, and because Newcastle cannot do anything right now, then why should we be hopeful that Isak comes in if we're reliant on Newcastle to bring players in? If our hopes on Newcastle to bring players in, what hope have we got? Because they've been rejected left, right, and centre this summer. They must have gone for about 10 players, rejected about all of them by Langer. So let's go on from Isak. Let's go on from Cesko. It is annoying. The thing is, we're clearly not doing anything until this Isak thing gets sorted. So I doubt we're giving them ample time. We've probably given them a timeline, and after that, we'll probably proceed. And I agree with that, Webber, because we can't just sit here forever waiting for this shit. We've got other stuff to sort out. We need a centre back. I think we need 2 centre backs. I've said this a few times. I think we need 2 centre backs, but we definitely need a forward as well. Whether it's striker or winger that can play across the front three, we need them forward because we're very, very short at the moment. Melvin said, "Hi mate, do you think we sign a defender?" So you have done absolute diamond business there, Melvin. You have passed me straight on to. You've assisted the next section of what we're going to talk about. So Mark Gahey. Liverpool have made 2 offers for Mark Gahey, both rejected by Palace. They want at least 55 million euros. According to Santiara. And let me get on this one here as well. So Ed Aarons, who is a journalist for The Guardian. Liverpool are still thought to be Mark Gahey's preferred option, but the defender is happy to see out his final year of his contract at Palace before leaving next summer for free. So Gahey his preference is to join Liverpool, but if Liverpool don't pay up, then he's happy to stay for another year for free and possibly join Liverpool next season. Now, that leaves us in a pickle, a very big pickle. Stu Pickles off the Rugrats. It leaves us in a big pickle because do we wait for Gahey next year, not bring anyone this year? That's a big mistake. Or do we go out and get a centre-back and then go get Gahey next year? And this is the exact same situation we was in 2021. We got rid of Lovren and we went into the season with 3 centre-backs. 2 of them being injury-prone. Okay? We wanted Konate, but we're willing to wait for Konate. I get it. Wait for Konate, go get him next year. But we still need one now. It's the exact same situation. This season, we've got 3 centre-backs. Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate. 2 of them injury-prone. Gomez especially. Konate is known for injuries as well. Okay? If we wait for Gahey next year, fair enough. We're getting him for free. We're not going to pay 55 million, whatever they're asking for, 50 million pounds, 45 million pounds. We get him next year. We still need a centre-back now. Regardless. And this is why I don't understand. Back in 2021, people backed Liverpool and said they did the right thing by waiting for Konate. They didn't get the whole picture. They weren't seeing right. They were so deluded at the time that they couldn't see what people was complaining about. But then they saw it in the season why they complained about it. Because we saw the drop-off. We saw the injuries we got in defence. And it massively fucked us. Don't make the same mistake again. Why people defended them back there when we didn't get a centre-back? We're waiting for Konate. Did you want Konate or no one? No, we could have still waited for King Konate for a year, still got Konate in, but still addressed the defence and the weakness that we had that season for us to not drop off. We're in the same situation. If we're waiting for Gahey, fair enough. If we're not willing to pay for Gahey for £50 million, £45 million, whatever they're asking for, £45 million, and we're getting for free next season, go get him for free next season, but make sure we get a centre-back in now. Because we cannot go into this season with 3 centre-backs to injury prone. We can't. That is playing with fire again. And if we do, and we get injuries to Konate and Gomez, and we've got Van Dijk on his own, we're playing Endo at centre-back or playing Gravenberch at centre-back, I don't want to see any crying. I don't want to see any crying about injuries. I don't want to see it. I do not want to see it. And if I see it, I'll go skits. I don't want to see it. You wanted this 4 years ago. We need another centre-back, regardless of Gehi coming in or not. We are playing with fire right now if we don't get a centre-back. I sort of agree with if you think £45 million is too much when he's got a year on his contract, fair enough. But go get a centre-back now, then get Gehi as well next year. Because you've got to remember as well, Van Dijk his contract's going to run out at some point, so Gehi needs to come in anyway. We still don't know what's going on with Konate. Is he staying? Is he going? So Gehi's a must anyway. For me, you've got to get a centre-back regardless of if it's Gehi or not. I just don't want to see people crying about injuries again. It winds me up now that they cried about injuries when we didn't prepare for the season properly. As simple as that. This is play with fire, and when you get play with fire, you get burnt, said Daniel. Absolutely. What's going on with Isak, Reese? Big question, Reese. Say what a question. What is going on with Isak? Well, basically, we're just waiting for Newcastle to buy players, and we've seen how Newcastle can buy players this summer. Yeah, good luck with that one. Don't panic. We are getting the centre back, said Vife. I don't think I'm panicking. I'm a bit annoyed about what happened before. I don't want to say the same happens again. I think we should get a centre. I think because it's an absolute must to get a centre back. I can't see us making that mistake again. But we have done it before. We have. And from something I've been told by a source of a journalist that works with Liverpool, what I've been told is the Gehi deal could be further down the line than we think. So don't come for me if it doesn't happen, but that's what I have been told. But I'm hoping we do. Gehi would be a brilliant signing if it is, because we've said it. Me and Derry spoke about it on Friday, didn't we? About Gehi being a ball playing centre back, suits Arne Slot much more than Konate. Him and Konate are perfect competition for each other for that centre back place, and I think he's good enough to start games as well. So I think he'll get better with Van Dijk alongside him as well. So for me, Gehi would be a brilliant signing. I still think we need 2 centre backs personally. Maybe a Gehi and a younger centre back, like a Cresswell, for an example. There's also Giovanni Leone as well from Parma. We've been looking at him, haven't we? So that's all right. 18-year-old Giovanni Leone. So that's what I'm saying. A younger centre back and Gehi is perfect for me. That's us sorted then for that area for the next 2 seasons. And then in the forward position, we've got Isak, and then that's sorted as well. I still think we need DM at some point, whether this season or next season. I think it's a mistake not looking at DM, if I'm honest. But we'll see. We'll see as the season goes on if it isn't or not. But we certainly need to address the forward positions, and we need to address the defence. And they're non-negotiables for me. If we don't get Isak, we still need another forward. I'm happy with Rio, Engamoa, and Gakpo as left wingers. Personally, I said the other night, I'm actually happy with Salah and Ben Doak as right wingers. But Ekitike needs some competition. It needs some competition. Or we're really putting a lot of reliance on a young lad there, switching leagues. Yeah, Daniel said there 1 centre back is a must. Yeah, it's not even negotiable, mate. If we don't get Gehi, we've got to bring a centre back in regardless. We've got to bring on. We can't get rid of Kwanzaa and rely on Gomez and Konate to stay fit for the season. That makes no sense at all. Just for last says Cresswell didn't look impressive in the 21's championship. He looked similar to Kwanzaa, who we let go. I think Cresswell does have bags of potential, but like I said, he's a young lad. He's not going to look. You're going to get inconsistency out with your players. That's why you need him as backup, really. You're going to get inconsistency. This is why there's no pressure at all on the likes of Trey Ione, the likes of Rio Engamoa, Ben Doak. No pressure on him at all. Inconsistency happens when you're that age. So it's better than being back up and getting spurts here and there. But I would like to see Rio Engamoa a bit more this season. But I'll tell you one thing, though. We're going to speak about the last night's matches and matches. When I say matches, because there were 2-1, 4-1 and 3-2. We'll talk about them shortly and who impressed you guys. But it's going to move on to Darwin Nunez. So AC Milan have come in for Darwin Nunez, looking to sign AC Milan Nunez on loan with an obligation to buy. So Al Hilal seemed like they're willing to pay up the money for Nunez and is in personal discussions now with Al Hilal, Conte Romano. But AC Milan, I wanted to come in to loan Nunez with an obligation to buy. Right, AC Milan, I say this with full respect. Pay up or piss off. Because none of this loan business, obligation to buy. If you want Darwin Nunez, come get Darwin Nunez. Same with Napoli. If you want Darwin Nunez, pay up for Darwin Nunez, or it goes to Al Hilal. Because Al Hilal are putting the money on the table. Al Hilal right now are discussing with Nunez personal terms. So you either want Nunez or you don't want Nunez. None of this loaning shit and obligation to buy. You either want him or you don't want him. And if you don't want him that bad, go. Leave us. We need the money. So it's up to you. It's up to you, AC Milan. If you either want him or don't want him. But prove that you want him. And if you want him, bid. No, none of this loan crap. I'm tired of... Loans mean that he might not work out, AC Milan, and we get him back. I don't want him back. And when you've got Al Hilal there willing to pay the money, then for me, it's an easy transfer for me. If AC Milan come in with the money as well, I think he could choose AC Milan because he's willing to go to Serie A anyway. He wants to with Napoli. He wants to go to Napoli, but they won't pay the money. So it's if you want him, AC Milan, come get him. Simple as that. Simple as I can't get it more clear than that. If you want him, come get him. Bid for him. Also, yeah, let me get that thing up that Paul Joyce has put out. So Paul Joyce has said that Tyler Martin has completed, I think, his transfer to Lyon. So good luck to Tyler Martin, £15 million. But now, as Tyler Martin leaves, Trainer Ione is now being considered as a full-time member of Liverpool's first team setup following a strong preseason, which continued against Athletic Bilbao. So this is what I want to talk about. Also, last night's games, Bilbao. Trainer Ione again had a decent game at centre-back, though, this time. I don't want to see him at centre-back this season, but I would like to see him midfield. But he is now going to be part of the first team plans or first team squads on the bench many times. So that's good. Trainer Ione, right, alongside Rio and Ben Dirk as well. Those three have impressed massively this preseason. And what I like about Trainer Ione, and this is what I always look for midfielders, especially. Midfielders are the ones that make the game tick. They're the best players on the pitch, really. The most complete players on the pitch. Trainer Ione has bags of confidence. He does not hide from the game. And when you get midfielders, young midfielders, a lot of them come into the game and sometimes hide. They get nervous about showing what they've got. So, midfielders they're very, very good players. These players, regardless, even the academy, usually midfield academy players are very good, but some bottle the moments. Trainer Ione throughout the preseason has been incredible in every single game he's played. Even when it's centre back, didn't kick up a fuss or anything like that. He ain't going to kick up a fuss, but he was brilliant at centre back. He has got bags of confidence. He's never hiding from the ball, and he certainly has just a way of playing. It's so good on the ball. He could easily slot into games this season for me. FA Cup, Carabao Cup games, and if needs be, sometimes Premier League games. If needs be, I think I'm that confident in his ability on the ball that I think Trainer Ione can get some good minutes this season. And it's the exact same with Rio, Engamoa, and Ben Dirk as well. Unbelievable again yesterday. We spoke about this last night on last night's stream. Engamoa, just run out of superlatives to this lad. 16-year-old, and it's absolutely fantastic. He's just running at players like he's in his backyard. He's running at players like he's on the park. Unbelievable player. The sky is the ceiling for him, Engamoa. And Ben Dirk is another player that I think that's being overlooked. And I regard Engamoa and Ben Dirk as proper wingers. And when I mean proper wingers, is that they want to take them. They're unpredictable and they want to take the men on. They want to take their fullbacks on. And that's what a winger should do for me. Do that, get the cross in or cut inside and shoot. And the best thing at Engamoa and Ben Doak is unpredictable. They don't know whether they're going to go outside, get a crossing, because they've got the speed to get past and go to the bar line. And they're actually decent at crossing as well. Or cut inside and shoot. Engamoa cuts inside and shoots. Brilliant goal. Ben Doak's got a shot in him. He saw the half volley he did yesterday. Unbelievable hit. Brilliant save. So these two have everything for me to be back up for Salah and Gakpo. And these two, for me, could, again, like Trent Ione, get first team minutes this season. Ben Doak had a brilliant spell at Middlesbrough. You know, people doubted him, whether he's going to come back and do well. And it was one of them, like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Is he good enough for Liverpool? As a backup, probably yes. I think that loan spell did him wonders at Middlesbrough. But right now, again, it's like Rio Engamoa on the other side. He's confident. He wants the ball. And if it does, like I said, he's going to make mistakes. Rio Engamoa makes mistakes. Trent Ione makes mistakes. They all make mistakes. Every player makes mistakes, especially youngsters, because the pressure of youngsters. But what these don't do, Trent Ione, Engamoa and Dirk, is they don't hide after making a mistake. Because people can make a mistake on the pitch and go into a shell. I play football myself every single week, so I see players, and because I'm a manager / player, I don't get on players' backs. So I see one mistake can turn into 10 so quickly. Conceding one goal can turn into conceding 2 or 3 because it heads it down. These guys, these 3 youngsters, do not ever let them put their head down. As soon as they make a mistake, like, okay, it's gone, pass me the ball. And this is what ruined Kwanzaa in the end. This is why Kwanzaa left in the end, because he couldn't get mistakes out of his head, I don't think. And he couldn't move on. And that's why we never saw the Kwanzaa we saw before. We never saw the Kwanzaa that we saw under Klopp, because it seemed like he couldn't move on to the mistakes. The Man United game absolutely messed him up. And since then, we never saw the Kwanzaa that we used to see, because it felt like he was just going over the mistakes again in his head, and it wasn't the player that we saw before. But with Rio, with Trey, and with Ben, these 3, I think, could put mistakes in the past and get on with it. And that's why I think they can be special this season. And they can certainly learn, and they're open to learn, and they can't have a better club right now and better coaches right now than where they are right now at Liverpool. I totally agree. David, youngsters really stepped up their game and look able to start for our first team. Said, be fair. Agreed. I'm confident in Rio, Trey, and Ben. I want to see them give more minutes to shine, said Weber. Poor Duck is always overlooked. Yeah, he is overlooked, actually. Also, Rio's getting all the plaudits right now, and rightly so, because he's unbelievable. 16 years old is just ridiculous what he's doing. But Ben Duck is overlooked. He has been fantastic. And I think he deserves the praise. It's, we've got to shout out what we shout out. There were talks about selling Dirk, weren't there? There's still reports about us selling Dirk potentially, but I don't want to see that, if I'm honest. Just like I said, Ben Dirk is going. He's been at Liverpool for years and haven't looked like a squad player. We need to cash in on him. I think he has looked like a squad player this preseason. I do. I think he's grown a lot. I think he's added more end product to his game. He's always had that problem with end product. He's always been able to take players on, but it's the end product. But I think he's actually added the end product to himself a little bit. And for me, I think he's good enough to be back up to Salah. That's my personal opinion. And speaking of overlooked as well, Beefy said there, Ben Duck's overlooked. You know what I think's overlooked? Massively. Gakpo. Gakpo's overlooked. Because I've seen throughout, we signed Ekatike, okay, and if we get Isak, okay. Say if we get Isak. I've seen many, many people, Liverpool fans included, putting our front three being Salah, Isak, Ekatike. Why the fuck are you not putting Gakpo on the left wing? Gakpo is a better left winger than Ekatike. Is a left winger for number one. I can't understand why Gakpo's been overlooked. I don't understand that. Gakpo is a natural left winger, and he's not really put a foot wrong at Liverpool since he joined. He's done well up front when he was up front, but he pushed Diaz out of that position to left wing, and I don't understand why people are putting Ekatike on the left instead of Gakpo. So I think Gakpo's been very overlooked indeed. And I think this season as well, we might even see the best of Gakpo. We'll see Wirtz alongside him for number one, more creation in that middle area. And we'll also see Kirkes bombing down the left, which allows Gakpo to get in the box. And that's where he wants to be. Gakpo's better coming more inside. I'm very shocked to see many, including rivals, including a lot of Liverpool fans, the same. They're saying Ekitike, Isak, Gasala. Why would you put Ekitike out of position on the left wing over Gakpo? That blags my head. And by the way, guys, having said that about Gakpo, if you have joined our Fantasy Premier League, you'll see that I've got Gakpo in my team. Because I know he's been overlooked. And I think he'll get a lot of goals this season. I do. Because I think so much concentration on marking Wirtz, marking Salah. I think Gakpo's going to be forgotten about a lot. Gakpo's a baller, said Ethics Red. If Gakpo continues the way he is, we'll have no problems. I thought that last night. XTK will rotate between 9 and 10 and left wing if we get Isak said just for laughs. I don't understand how Cesko would want to go second worst Man United team in life, other than having no ambition or just being a fool. He could play Champions League football. But the problem is, though, Red Goals, is that consistent Champions League football at Newcastle? I don't think it is. Jonathan said there, "Hi Damon, how you doing?" I know I saw your name come up earlier, Jonathan, but I didn't click it up, did I? How are you doing, Jonathan? What are your feelings right now? So anyone that doesn't know Jonathan, he's probably doing by now because he's in every night. Is our fellow Jordi, our fellow Newcastle fan, in the chat. How are you feeling about that situation, Jonathan? Because right now your club is fucking us all over. Simple as that. You need to sort your club out. Like I said earlier, if you don't get Cesko, get someone, get anyone. Get Dave from the local football team. I don't care who you get. Let Isak go and replace him. I don't care who you get. I think that's just because they want to make a whole Isak and XTK play together work. I just think they've completely. I honestly think they want to jump on the new signing wagon and say, "Oh, he's got to play. We'll pay this much for him." No. If Isak comes in, XTK is going back up to Isak. It's as simple as that. That's what it should be. It's mostly online fans. They don't like to whinge a lot, even though you're given clear stats to prove them wrong. You don't need stats, mate. You just need to use your eyes to see Gakpo's a better left winger than XTK. Let's more likely to get Champions League football at Newcastle versus Man United currently. But I will say that, yes, they got Champions League football in Newcastle, but they probably won't be in it next year. So at the end of the day, Man United at some point will come back to the top. And they'll be like us. They will probably get Champions League football over and over again, like we do. They're too big of a club to stay down there. And you've got to look at Newcastle and Man United as a whole. There's, like I said earlier, we went through it earlier, the positives and negatives on both sides. Right now, Newcastle, it's a shit show in the background. They're not buying anyone. They're not looking to push on. So you've got to look at the whole situations for me. XTK showed his quality in the stages last night, but we still need now goal scorer to beef it. Yeah, exactly that. XTK's got massive quality. I've said this many times. Massive quality. He has got the potential to really give good rotation to Gakpo or Isak if we get Isak or be up front. I don't think we're in a rush to get Isak because we've got XTK now at the moment. But the thing is with him, he's raw, he's a young lad, and inconsistency could kick in. And again, he still needs to work on obviously finishing a little bit more and things like that. But it's a brilliant signing. But like I said, he'll be back up to Isak if Isak comes in. If we get Isak, says Tony, him and XTK will rotate. You will have to eat at least 2 strikers in your squad, injuries, suspensions, etc. Newcastle should have other options, says Essex Red. Like I have said, Isak can go at a price, said Jonathan. Can I ask you this? In fact, let me ask you the chat. So let me ask you, Jonathan, and the chat as well. Do you think even if you don't get Cesko, do you think Isak still leaves? Or do you think Isak still can leave? If we pay like 140 million pounds for Isak, and you don't get Cesko in, would you accept it? Because I said it earlier, I don't understand why you'd want to keep a player that don't want to be there. We didn't want, Diaz wanted to leave. We got rid of him at the right when Bayern paid up the money, we got rid of him. And this is what I'm saying about. This is what I said earlier. You've got to be very careful what journalists say, especially close to the clubs. When Liverpool journalists were putting out 2 months ago, Diaz not for sale. Diaz is not for sale. Diaz is not for sale. I was like, shut the fuck up. He is for sale. If someone pays up the money, he's gone. If he wants out and someone pays up the money, he's gone. And look where he is now. He's a Bayern Munich player. So this is what I'm saying about you got to be very careful of PR. You got to be very careful of when journalists say it's exactly the same now. It's like if we don't get Gehi, be very careful of what journalists put out. They'll say like, we're waiting for Gehi next year. There's no one else out there that we can get. There's no one else out there that's available. Bollocks. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. So be very careful. Be very careful. If we don't get Gehi, we should bring someone else in regardless. I'm not standing for anything. There's no one else out there available. Bollocks. Isak will still leave, in my opinion, said be fit. I think Amram is a fake. He only has one player playing. He lacks any plan B or C. He tries to get the players in a position aren't used to. To be honest, though, just for laughs, Amram has had shit to work with. Let's be honest here. He hasn't had very good players to work with. He's only just getting his players in now. And if you actually watch Man United, in pre-season, I've watched a couple of clips of Man United this pre-season. They actually play good football now. Now he's got a few of his players in. The thing is with Man United, they've still got players at the back that make a couple of mistakes and still got a keeper that makes several mistakes. But it's a working project for them. I can't see them finishing bottom half this season, if I'm honest now. They're playing, I think they've got too many good players at certain positions like Bruno, Mbeumo, Kuna, very good players. Diallo's a very good player. I think if you get them playing, I think they'll get top half for me this season. As much as I hate to say it. Man U will not get Champions League anytime soon. It's a poison chalice. Yes, you don't want to play at the club who doesn't want to be there. Exactly, Tony. That's why we got rid of Diaz in the end. Remember, Diaz wasn't for sale, though. I think the route is it goes to Essex. Oh, right, okay. You're speaking to Essex Red there. The fact that how Loki turned on him last press conference tells me that we will sell either way, especially since they've been acceptance and they just want it over. I mean, that's the only thing that's I think because there's been so many bridges burnt and there's so much water under the bridge, then it makes no sense for him to stay. That's the only thing that's keeping me hopeful. Newcastle, what the money for Isak we have asked for. So do you think they'll sell him regardless of you getting anyone else anyway? If we pay the money, Isak wants Liverpool 150%. It's his dream. Isak would have already pissed players off. Some fans have turned on him. Eddie hasn't done a shit job with it all. I feel sorry for Eddie Howe, though, if I'm honest, just for last. I feel sorry for Eddie Howe because what else is he meant to do? Really? It's called out the player, right? He's had to call out the player. At the end of the day, he's going against his contract. He's gone AWOL. If you're a boss, you've got to. Why are you not turning it for work? But he's also said he understands football. And I understand the player's career short. I think he's handled it very well, Eddie Howe, to say the shit that has been thrown in. It's everything. It's everything in the background that's messed all this up. They ain't got a sporting director. I don't know if they've got a football director. I don't know what they've got at that club. But I feel sorry for Eddie. I think Eddie Howe's handled it as best as you can. He's made him accountable. He's had a go at Isak. He's called him out. But he's also said, at the same time, I understand that players' careers are short. So I understand if you did something like this, but you can't do it. In the end, I'm boss, and you can't do that. Why players insisting that can't play? You play that way. I just think with Amorim last season, I think he wanted to work out who is good enough to stay and who isn't. And if he can't play that Amorim system, then what's the point in keeping him? Simple as that, isn't it? At the end of the day, yeah, you sort of change your ways a little bit to try and get results sometimes, but it wasn't about getting results for Amorim. I think he wants that style of play, and he wants to build on that throughout the next few years. And it was like a free shot at it last season. I know they finished 15, 17, whatever they finished in. And if they win the Europa League, it'd have been different, wouldn't it? It'd have been a successful season. They got Champions League football. But I think it was like a free shot. It started like a free shot and said, I want to see who wants to play for me this season or not. 150 million pound, that is what we want for Isak, nothing else, with Jonathan. But yeah, would you sell him? Then if Liverpool offered 150 million pound total package, would you sell him knowing that no one else is coming in? That's the question. How is stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Isak will go between 120 and 130 million. That's my opinion, said just for last. Yeah, I think about 130, 140 for me, million for me. I think that'll be the deal done. But yeah, let me know your comments in the chat about Isak, about Cesko. Do you think Isak will be a red at the end of the day? I keep asking this every stream. Do you think he's going to be red? Or do you think we're too heavy reliant on Newcastle buying players? Because if we have to rely on Newcastle buying a replacement for Isak, we're fucked. Because right now they couldn't buy a shopping trolley, even though most of them are free. Well, they are free. They put £1 in, you get the £1 back, so they're free. They couldn't buy a shopping trolley. So let me know in the chat, and make sure you do, like I said, every single night. Make sure you do hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 1.5 thousand subscribers. We're just on 1.2 subscribers right now. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already. Join us at Talking Reds for all your latest Liverpool news, transfer news, Liverpool content, watch-alongs, previews, match reactions, everything you want as a Liverpool fan. This is the channel for you. We've got rival shows coming on. Hooks is back this week, hopefully. So me and Hooks are back this week for a catch-up, massive catch-up. We've got a lot to talk about, myself and Hooks. And hopefully getting a Newcastle fan on very soon as well to talk about Isak, talk about Cesko. And yeah, got many shows coming up this season. So make sure you're part of that and you join us at Talking Reds. So hit that subscribe button now. What are you doing? In fact, wait 1 second to hit it. Right, hope you've hit it. Thank you for watching tonight, guys. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.